The micro Moonboys absolutely unleashing their moon juice, breaking the 3-month downtrending level of resistance. Are the Moonboys ready to serve the baby bears a 5-finger surprise directly into their bone zone? As 40,000 is the most important make or break, fake out, mommy make out level to watch, it all comes down to this. And what about Dogecoin? Nobody cares. I'm your host, Bobby Magoo, and as Bitcoin has broken 40,000 US dollars for the first time in quite a long time, is this the beginning of a Moonboy moon mission? Or in fact, is this something much, much bigger? Absolute time sensitive alerts as well, guys. Make sure to never respond to any scammers in the comments. There's so many of them. They're in the comments right now. They're on Twitter right now messaging you. They're on Instagram messaging you. They're even sending you emails, and none of them are me. My only two social media are Instagram and Twitter. They're both below, and every other account is fake. As well, if you're interested in any deals or bonuses, make sure to check out the links below. Storing your crypto, staking, keeping it secure, altcoins. And without any further Magoo, let's Magoo. Unbelievable. So guys, as you can see it here, Bitcoin, after getting that rejection yesterday, quickly was able to swing so far. Now, this is still way too early to get way too excited, but this is exactly the first step that we would want to see for there to be even a chance of a reversal, okay? This is, again, it's still way too early. It's still very likely that we're going to be going below 40K at some point this week, just because we were like a couple $100 above it. People are going to get really bearish if we would, just dip our little toes a little bit below 40K again, which always happens. Okay, pretty much on every initial breakout like we're seeing right now, usually, there's pullbacks and pumps along the way. So very good so far. Absolutely very good so far. And a lot of things shaping up that, again, after months of just getting straight dumped on, there has to be a bounce. And the real question is this the beginning of a real bounce? So before we go any further as well, Pentoshi here tweeted, and this is just very important in my opinion. He or she is somebody that I think is very necessary to at least consider their opinions here when it comes to macro breakouts and macro downtrends or uptrends. He says here, basically, downside is limited and upside is unlimited. Weeks of downtrends in crypto can be erased in a single week. Okay, and then he's referring even back to here of the summer, right before we started this macro move to the upside, where we go from 29,000 up to 69, nice, over 100% gains there. Basically, he was saying the same thing back here. Downside is limited, upside is unlimited. And again, I agree 100%. I think a lot of people do. Same scenario here. More likely than not. Okay. Basically, if I would have to summarize it, a scenario where we do something like this is a lot more likely than a scenario where we do something like this. We've already been dumped on so much. The market does get big dumps. The market also does get very big pumps. But one thing about this market that is pretty universally the case is that it goes in waves. There's pumps and dumps. Even if, I'm not even saying, even if, let's say we even did go back down eventually to the mid 20,000s, maybe we'd go all the way up to 70 or 80,000 first. Again, that's not my opinion. I don't think that's likely at all. But again, it was just an example of how wild and unpredictable this market is. And so basically here he's saying same thing. A lot of people also agreeing with that. And again, I agree with it. But here's something really important here. So Bitcoin breaks 40K for the first time in 2 weeks here. It jumped to a 2-week high as traders got more confident that the market has stabilized following a recent slump and some analysts flagging the possibility of a short squeeze, which we have seen. We're going to get into that in a second as well. But several attacks to the downside have not been successful anymore as the risk has been taken out. Basically, yes, we've gotten dumped on a lot. We've gotten dumped on so much. But you can only get dumped on so much, right? A very, very wise man once said you can only get dumped on so much before you get pumped on. Absolutely just so important that people know that. As well, so Bitcoin's initial knee-jerk reaction to this shockingly strong non-farm payroll report was weakness, okay? But Bitcoin has managed to stabilize despite inflationary pressure that continues to push global bond yields higher. And Jason Dean here, a Bitcoin analyst at Quantum Economics, said Bitcoin's recent moves do seem to have coincided with the latest U.S. jobs report, and it's possible this may simply have acted as a catalyst for an overdue market move. Okay. And with Bitcoin returning to 40K, liquidating over $50 million of shorts in just hours here. And you can see with CoinGlass, Bitcoin liquidations were $50 million over the most recent 4-hour period, with cross crypto liquidations passing 100 million. And you can see a lot of liquidations there. It's really also important to note here that And Bessa said, and I doubt there's spot inventory left to sell at 40K. What was going to be sold has been sold already in a multi-month downtrend capped off by a macro panic. Okay. Also, doubt buyers in the 30K area bought in order to sell here, similar in many ways to the 6K level in 2019. And again, one thing I think is just very interesting, if we look on this chart, I think a lot of people are very bearish. And, this possibility of a double bottom is still possible. Just because we're up a few $1,000s today doesn't mean anything. If you've been in crypto for a while, it feels great seeing Bitcoin back above 40K. But let's be realistic. 5 days from now, a couple days from now, we could technically, we could be retesting and doing a double bottom. I don't think that's the case. And in fact, I think this is a very, very good signal here that we're seeing. But all I'm saying is you have to understand that this market is absolutely bananas. And again, a lot of people are expecting 30K minimum for that pullback. And so let's say, what if we never get that? Again, which I personally think is more likely than not. Even though it is possible, I think it's more likely than not that a lot of people were waiting for 30K and even below to buy in, and they're going to get front run, meaning people have already bought in, or, after these 3 months of dumping, maybe that was their chance and it's not going to go lower. And now we're going to have momentum to the upside. And really, I think that's the most important part about these markets is momentum. For the last 3 months, momentum has just been straight dumpy, and it seems like there was not a pump to be had. And that's because there was not. The momentum was strictly to the downside. Now, the reason this is big, breaking this trend line, is because this is and especially the 21-day moving average, is because that is the first concrete, tangible momentum shift that we can actually see on these charts. And it's just very big. So, momentum does shift every once in a while. And this is very, very likely to be the beginning of that momentum shift. With that being said, again, like I said, that doesn't mean we can't still go below 40K. In fact, I think that's more likely than it is not likely. But overall, getting this reversal to really get started and start breaking some of these lower highs that we've set over the past 3 months, which you can just see here. 42? Here we get 50, 56. So crucial. And this will be a multi-week, even multi-month journey to the upside if it truly is the breakout. But this is a very, very good sign right now. New channel, absolutely time sensitive alerts as well. If you guys are enjoying any bonuses, make sure to check out or any deals. Make sure to check out the links below. I have one Twitter, one Instagram, and one YouTube. Just 3 total. This YouTube, the Twitter and Instagram below, and everything else is not me. So never respond to any scammers. With any further ado, it's for me.